Hi, I'm Chibi.
And I'm Rainbow.
We're from the Birthday Massacre, and you're live in Limbo.
This is Andreas Babiolakis with liveinlimbo.com. I've got Toronto natives, the Birthday Massacre with me. I've got members Chibi and Rainbow with me.
Hello.
Hello.
How are the two of you doing?
Really good.
Doing good. We are about to play a show tonight.
We're playing a concert tonight
playing a
at the
rock
Mod
concert.
Club.
Perfect. And we actually caught you last year when you played at the Opera House, I believe.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yep.
Cool.
And no, it was a terrific show. So welcome back after the lengthy tour that you've had. It's great to have you back in, of course, where you live, Toronto. And as one of the most core Toronto bands that I know, like you've got a huge fan base here, and you interact with your crowd very openly. Like during shows, you identify people you know personally, and it's all very casual and comfy. So what does it mean to you to be back here in Toronto after so many years of doing this?
Okay, for me, personally, every time we do a Toronto show, I find it a little bit more nerve-wracking because we have a lot of friends come out and family come out. And, when you're playing a show and your mom is there, it's kind of it is. It's a bit of a different vibe, because you want to be like, look, it's good. It's okay. We're good. And then you see mom and you're like, right, mom?
Is it
right?
good?
Yeah, are we good?
Mama, are we okay?
So that for me, it's great to play in the city. We love playing in the city, but there is that extra element for me of just feeling like, yep, there's mom.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I love it. Honestly, it's always a nice place to either begin or end, especially if we do a tour. It's nice to have like the homecoming show, so all your friends can come out, and it's fun. It is.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of people, there's a lot of socializing, but it's fun. Yeah. So yeah, tonight should be a good time.
Absolutely. And again, we've seen it before. And actually, I don't know if you realize this, but Live in Limbo has been around for a number of years. But our very first show that we ever covered as a photography website was the Birthday Massacre quite a few years ago. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's a very special interview, this one, because it's the first band that we covered. It's one of the first interviews of the year. So it's coming around full circle. And yeah, with that in mind, 2 years ago you released Superstition, and that's done quite well, actually. So how does it feel like these 2 years afterwards? You have so many CDs now. Your fan base is only getting bigger. How has it been being, on top of your game all this time?
But that's nice of you to say. Yeah. That feels really good to hear you say that. Now, when we're putting together a set list for our shows, we do have a lot of albums to choose from.
It's true, yeah.
Which is great at the same time, but it's also challenging because it's like, what don't we play this time? What should we? Because you want to play a lot of new stuff, for Superstition, you want to play stuff off of that album, right? So
I think we just feel really grateful. When we started the band a long time ago, we had no particular agenda as to, exactly what we wanted. We were just a group of friends that got together that liked making music together. So it's amazing to see how things have grown. And after, so many years being at this point, I still can't wrap my head around it. I just think it's awesome.
It really is, yeah.
Speaking of growth, actually, when I started being a fan back in high school, actually, one of the first albums I bought with my own money was Violet. And, absolutely. And from what I remember, that was an EP that had stuff put onto it to make it a fuller album. Was that kind of like the turning point of your career when you realized, hey, we've got something here, we're getting all this recognition, let's put out something that is fuller and we can see what we can do with this?
That's when at the time when we did the Violet album, that's at the point where we were just starting to work with a couple of labels. There was Repo Records from Germany and Metropolis Records from the US. And that was basically when they approached us, and everything up to that point we had done. We still do everything pretty much, DIY, but that was the point where we actually sort of signed with the label and we started to tour a lot more regularly and stuff, and started to get out of the country and play shows outside and play different types of shows. So that was probably that was that era.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I bring this up because, again, I've said you've got this big fan base, and your band has one of the strongest aesthetic senses that I've seen with any band. Like, every album's got, like, the rabbit artwork, the purple and the dark themes, the themes of youth, but also a lot of fear instilled within them. Like, you've got a very strong sense of everything throughout years. Even like your website was one of the most impressive for a music website, even back in the day. where did all of this start? I know this started even before Violet, but was this something that was a conscious decision to keep this going, to keep it strong, or is it just
Definitely
happened?
was at a certain point, but when we started out, I think it developed pretty organically. It was just something that we thought was aesthetically pleasing, that we thought really suited the band, and it was just the right mixture balance for us, you know, that contrasted the music nicely, we thought. And over time, we just, you know, thought we'd have some artistic continuity and consistency.
And also, I mean, like you're sort of talking about the fan base and the community that we've developed. And I mean, I think that elements that the audience latched onto sort of made these things happen, like the whole rabbit thing. You know, we had the rabbit as the transition on our Nothing and Nowhere website years ago, like you were saying. And then, you know, people started to come into the show wearing bunny ears. So like, we're like, this is good. Like we're having fun with it, and so are the people who are enjoying the music.
Yeah, it was a give and take between sort of the audience and us, and sort of what was responded to, and definitely.
Now, it's interesting that you say that there's like a lot of fun aspects, because I would say a lot of the Birthday Massacre actually is a lot of fun. But when it comes like to the actual lyrics, like there's a lot of really serious stuff there, like especially like on like your last few albums, there's a lot of like very serious themes. Like how do you find a good balance? Because I think it's something your band has done really well. How do you find the balance between playful and also like a little bit serious? Like sometimes you'll toss in like gruffier vocals to make it more serious. Sometimes
Gruffier, I like that.
We call it the Snake Man.
Snake Man voice, yeah.
Perfect. Well, the Snake Man voice, there we go. And you've got like the edgier guitars at times, but sometimes the synths will take over. So how do you find that good balance? Because it seems like throughout your albums, you've got a good flow of what's right and what wouldn't be right, so you wouldn't have it in there. Like how do you get that balance?
I think, well, we take what we do pretty seriously, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. Yep. And I think there's a lot of themes and things that we want to talk about within the songs, but as personalities, you know, we're pretty upbeat. So I think a lot of the upbeat side and a lot of the humor comes off, especially in the live show. I mean, the albums are very much their own thing, and there's a certain context that we're sort of working within, and it's sort of a different headspace. And when we're performing and when we're playing live, obviously we have an idea of what it's going to be like live as we're writing it, but I think that side of the band comes out a lot more during the live shows.
Definitely. I mean, this is going to sound so trite, but like,
do it.
Life is so multifaceted, right?
It is.
So I knew he was going to love that one. But,
Yeah.
But I mean, like, you know, there's times during one whole performance where I've cried while playing songs and then laughed my ass off the next minute, right? It's just like, you know, you can't, to me, it wouldn't feel authentic if you were just like hip hip hooray for the entire set, or like maybe some bands are able to do that, but I mean, and I think that that's awesome if they can maintain those mentalities especially for an entire live performance, but that's not really, when we're writing the music, that's not how we really have approached the songwriting, with one thing really in mind, and I think that comes out live, definitely.
That's always been a big part of the band is the contrast dynamic, and you know, not being, you know, one way too much. You know, we don't want to be one-dimensional or sort of have this one mood or
because we're not one-dimensional. We're multifaceted.
Well, that's the reason, you know, we got into a band is to be ourselves and to express ourselves however we might be feeling or whatever we might want to say. So we definitely try and not limit ourselves in that way.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, actually, it's a good segue into my next point. The last album, I believe, was entirely crowdfunded, right? So, again, your fan base is coming into show, not just for the aesthetic, but for the actual process itself. Like, they wanted this album to come out. So, how did that go? Because it was your first crowdfunding album, I believe.
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea was honestly to show a lot of the behind the scenes of making the album and really involve the audience in the making of the album in a way that we hadn't done before. It was something really fun for us to do that we wanted to experiment with and see how it went. It went really well. I was really happy with how it turned out.
Same. I mean, we had our goal was reached very rapidly, which just it was.
Yeah, we had no idea what to expect.
We were so excited by that.
Yeah, it was really, really encouraging.
So thankful for that.
Yeah.
And I mean, also in a way, it's like it's an interesting way to gauge on. What I mean, you just finished saying it's just like they wanted your album to come out. It's like it's good to know that in a way.
Yeah,
you know,
feel that sense.
People are excited about this. People want, you know, to participate in this and learn more about it, and that interest is there. It was good for us on a personal and creative level to learn that about the audience and see how they were feeling about the band.
Yeah, reassuring.
And I know you guys kept in touch with your fans because on Facebook you had I believe it was called like the We're Making an Album series, where it's like all of these updates and videos and whatnot. So I know in that aspect, the social aspect, it was very encouraging to see the fans respond to everything. Does it help with the writing? Does it give you that extra push where it's like, yes, we've got something that we've got to write here? Like,
it was, as far as the writing's concerned, I think we're pretty insular with that. We don't, like, I think it was more, it put us in a good headspace and it made us feel a really appreciated sense of support, but I don't think it really affected, say, the songwriting, the melodies, or the lyrics necessarily. It was more of an overall sense of.
He was like, let's just make this a good one.
We wanted to make it good. We really wanted to, really wanted to make it a good album.
Yeah.
As
we usually.
As per usual.
As per usual, absolutely.
Yeah.
We try.
As per usual.
As per usual.